This is bay here behind me. Most people will recognize bay, and it's actually a big tree. Ross actually rescued 2 bay trees from a garden, and they were living in large pots, and then we finally got a chance a few years ago to plant them in, and since then they've really bushed out. We're just here at the boundary of the property where there was a big gap in the hedgerow, and that's why we wanted to plant them in here, because bay is actually one of the plants I use mostly for protection. It's an amazingly protective plant. It has this long history of use for protection, and that's mostly why I would be harvesting bay, but today I'm harvesting it for a different reason. Bay is definitely one of the plants that I will cover on one of our plant invocation and attunement days here at Ivywood, which will probably be maybe starting in autumn or maybe next year. So yeah, bay is very special magic plant, and I'll definitely be covering it there. But I'm actually harvesting bay today to make an external remedy for rheumatic pains, arthritic pains, muscular aches and pains, joint pains, and it's amazing for that, and it's the leaf that we use. So just like you use it in cooking, it's also really aromatic, it's spicy, it's warm. Believe it or not, it doesn't seem like that, but it actually is. And so we do use it in herbal medicine as a carminative to help with like indigestion or any wind or trapped wind. So it actually relieves blockages, so it actually helps things move. So yeah, we do use it alongside other kinds of carminative herbs for lower digestive issues, but it's also amazing, as I said, for external use, for sprains, bruises, aches and pains, muscular aches and pains, or even arthritic aches and pains. So it's definitely also a plant that I'm going to cover on our course that's coming up in September. That's Joints on Fire, which I'm running with Colleen Kennedy from Westport. So I'll definitely cover that there, because there's loads of other herbs that I make a lot of oils from, like birch leaves, our arnica plants, our comfrey plants, our pine buds as well. Loads of other plants that I do make a lot of oils for external use. Sweet Annie is another one as well. That's amazing. Meadowsweet is another amazing herb for external use for arthritic issues. So yeah, we're going to be covering bay as a medicine on our Joints on Fire course. I probably won't be covering it on the Making Herbal Remedies course, which we do a lot of musculoskeletal stuff on, but there's loads of other herbs, as I mentioned, that we'll be talking about at that course. So yeah, so today I'm actually going to harvest some bay, and I'm going to let it dry out a little bit, and then I'm going to, the heron is just watching me there. He's just over there on our little lake. Right. And I'm going to harvest some bay, and I'm going to make a hot oil from it. So I'm going to make a hot oil, probably will take about a day to make, and I'm going to like chop it up really fine. I'm going to submerge it in oil. I'm going to heat that oil up, so it's going to be a hot oil extraction done at a low temperature over a long amount of time. So that's how I'm going to make this amazing bay oil, which is then going to be used in all kinds of ointments and maybe even a plaster. So a plaster is another thing that we use for joint and arthritic pain, and I probably will cover making herbal plasters on our Joints on Fire course as well. So the first thing is to make your oils. So I'm going to make a lovely hot oil infusion from these bay leaves, and so I'm going to harvest it. It was actually full moon early this morning, and I've been trying to harvest bay for the last week, but I'm still going to go for it today. It just feels right. So Tama Kishan, live a gum. And so it's a little bit on bay, and just about to harvest some bay here at Ivywood.